This is a summary of MPs' overall expenses for the 6-monthly period this year, 2025, from January to June inclusive. The overall average MPs' tax-free expenses for this 6-monthly period, taken across all MPs in Parliament, was $16,535 per quarter, which if extrapolated represents approximately $66,140 for a full year for each MP. The summary reveals the Left Alliance of Labour, Greens and Pāti Māori MPs incurred expenses at nearly 2.3 times greater than the coalition government MPs. That's extraordinary, but it gets worse. This equates to around $90,000 per year for the opposition, compared to about $40,000 for government MPs' expenses. This is a summary of MPs' tax-free domestic flight expenses for the same 6-monthly period. The average overall MPs' flight costs were $9,071 per quarter, projected to being around $36,284 for the full year. And, once again, the summary reveals that the left opposition MPs incurred domestic flight costs of around 2.3 times greater than the coalition government MPs. On an annual basis, the left MPs incur about $50,000 for flights, and the coalition MPs about $21,000 for flights. This is not a good look for the left opposition, but it gets worse. This is the overall tax-free expenses for some of the worst Green and Pāti Māori MPs. They incurred nearly 4 times the costs of the average coalition government MP. Some loudmouth familiar names popping up: Waititi, Kapakingi and Bussy Boy. Surprise, surprise. Look at Waititi's projected figures for the year. A salary of $220,000 plus expenses of about $150,000. He's certainly raking the money in. I wonder how much goes to help Māori. Getting all too familiar now. The worst Green and Pāti Māori domestic flight polluters. The big mouths are the worst, the New Zealand Green Party. The hypocrisy of this party is disgusting. Nearly 4 times more expensive than the coalition MPs' domestic flight expenses. Just think about that. They scream climate change, yet they pollute the country worse than any other MPs in Parliament. The woke Left Alliance of Labour, Greens and Pāti Māori incur taxpayer-funded, tax-free expenses that are more than twice the coalition government expenses per MP for both of their overall expenses and domestic flight pollution expenses. One wonders what on earth is so important that the opposition MPs need to run up such exorbitant costs for innocent Kiwis to pay. It's the Labour Greens Pāti Māori alliance that keep harping on about the climate change crisis, yet they are the parties causing the most greenhouse gas pollution in the New Zealand Parliament, more than twice that of the coalition government. This must be as close to fraud as one can get. They sell to the public, especially the Green Party, the need for climate action, yet their MPs are by far the worst polluters in the House. Amongst the woke left parties, we have the biggest polluters, biggest loudmouths, biggest racists, many of whom are rarely at work, yet we pay them enormous salaries plus a golden taxpayer-funded, tax-free expense account to defraud us as well. The woke left are by far the biggest expense rip-off merchants in the House. Why does anyone actually vote for these public rip-off frauds? Does anyone actually see the standout scam? In the USA, Black Lives Matter had actually nothing to do with Black lives. They were a successful bunch of scam artists who made a fortune at the expense of the gullible public, and many Black lives actually suffered greatly at their hands. They used the words Black lives in a very clever, fraudulent, psychological scam. In New Zealand, we have the Green Party, which has nothing to do with a green planet. It has everything to do with scamming the public into believing the Green Party actually cares about the environment. But their real end game is obvious. They are playing for high salaries plus a golden, all expenses taxpayer-funded, tax-free expense account. The Greens are rip-off merchants, just like the USA's Black Lives Matter scam artists, but in this case, they use the word green in a very clever, fraudulent, psychological scam against gullible Kiwis. Then there's Te Pāti Māori, which once again has nothing to do with the Māori population. Like the Green Party, Te Pāti Māori are only in it for themselves. They have never done a single thing for genuine Māori in need of assistance, and they only use the word Māori in an identical way as green and black lives. Te Pāti Māori are wealthy, fraudulent scam artists. Te Pāti Māori use the word Māori in a very clever, fraudulent, psychological scam against gullible Māori. The Māori electoral roll and Māori parliamentary seats should be abolished. Something stinks in these left party expenses that needs to be investigated and explained to the public. Thank you for listening. WhangāreiTim.